My sister Danielle got brain trauma.
Time it was, and what a time it was, it was.
It was a car accident.
There's 6 other people in the car. Her car collided into a SUV and Danny was airlifted to Harborview.
Long ago it must be, I have a photograph. Preserve your memories, they're all that's left you.
The age group most likely to obtain a brain injury are children ages 5 to 9, adults over 80, and teenagers. And one of the leading causes of TBI in teenagers are car accidents.
Look, you can grab the light.
When you're young, it's easy to feel invincible.
It's not funny. Hey, you can turn the lights back on.
Yeah, dude, come on.
They're so beautiful.
Told you, right?
Chris, please, you're freaking me out.
There's more up there. Dude, like now! Hang on.
Turn on the goddamn light!
The only problem is, you're not.
October 30th, Danielle was in a car with 5 other teens when it crashed into an SUV in Lacey. Danielle and several other girls who were not wearing seatbelts were thrown out of the vehicle, and she suffered a traumatic brain injury, and her long-term prognosis is unknown.
Currently, she's out of ICU, and right now we just hoping for more and praying for more, but we really don't know.
And on this day of Thanksgiving, the family wants to thank all the firefighters and police officers on the scene of the crash, Airlift Northwest for flying Danielle to Harborview, and the doctors who have cared for her since.
As we've had our Lord as the best healer of all, and without him, I can't even tell you what it would have been like.
The family also says the prayers in support of several churches and their faith are keeping them strong and hopeful about Danielle's future.
About 3 years ago, Danielle got into the car with 4 or 5 other friends, and by all standards, it was an absolutely gorgeous, wonderful day. It was beautiful, perfect driving conditions, and nobody can explain why she got in the wreck. And she got in the accident, and she was flown to Harborview Hospital where she had severe brain trauma. She had cracked a vertebrae. She had lacerations to her face, and she lay in a coma for almost 3 weeks.
What happens is that the force is transmitted through the skull, and the brain, which is a very soft material, kind of on the order of cottage cheese, gets this force applied to it, and not surprisingly deforms, has bleeding, has swelling, and that ends up either destroying or at least partially damaging the neurons that make up the brain.
It's ironic, it's a fragile item. It's this 3-pound substance with, you know, a nice tough skin-like covering. I love the Latin term for that. As someone with a tough Italian mother, I like the notion of dura mater, tough mother is what protects it. And the cerebral spinal fluid protects it. The skull is very thick, it protects it. There's really a tremendous amount of protection. But there are also a lot of things that can go wrong in a severe traumatic brain injury.
People may have paralysis. They may have problems with speaking or understanding language. They may have problems with double vision. They may have difficulty with moving about. The most common problems that people have, and this stretches across mild to more severe brain injuries, are problems with thinking and problems with managing behavior or emotions. Even for people who have relatively mild brain injuries, they often have a more difficult time with thinking. They may think slower, takes them longer to process information. They may have problems with their memory.
Turn off the alarm. I look outside so that I know what to wear. I take a shower. With soap. And then I shave. Sometimes I cry for no reason. But I'm getting a handle on it. I wake up. I get dressed. I take my meds. When Lewis is gone, I make the coffee, which can be tricky. I eat breakfast, but I don't read the paper. It confuses me, which makes me mad. I wake up. I put on my coat and go to class. I wake up.
I remember my mom never been there, at least that's what I think. I said, Mom, why you haven't seen me in like 2 weeks? She's like, for one, you've been here for 1 week. For two, I was here 3 hours ago. And she would start crying. I'm like, why are you crying? And she'd be like, 'cause I was here, Danny. I was here just... And I would start crying because I would be like, why can't I remember it? I was just so confused. And I'd be like, I remember seeing my grandma, and I'd be like, I've never seen her a day in my life. Why is she here? And my grandma's like, I'm your grandma?
She couldn't remember literally 5 minutes from 5 minutes. And then she'd ask, why don't you come see me? I'm like, Danielle, I was just here. I just stood behind the chair for a few minutes to get you something to eat. And she'd start crying because she'd think that everybody left her because she couldn't remember. And we were told that was a possibility, that would be permanent.
Memory loss was hard.